Gunfire ripped the night open. Evan Cole hit the dirt behind a broken wall as a mortar landed short and sprayed him with sand. His ears rang hard. He tasted metal. Bullets snapped past, fast and cold. He dragged his rifle up and scanned the dunes through a haze of grit. The desert smelled like hot iron and smoke. Wind pushed dust into his eyes. He blinked until the sight steadied. Cole left ridge. Lena Park shouted over the radio. Her voice clipped and tight. Truck with a DSHK, 30 seconds out. He rolled to a knee. The wall chewed apart above him. He slid back down and checked his mag with shaking fingers. 20 rounds. The team had split on contact. Their convoy had died in the first minute. Tires torn. Radios jammed twice. The enemy had known their route. Someone had sold them out. Evans swallowed hard. He had messed up once before on a mountainside far from here. He had frozen for 3 breaths, and a pilot bled out. He carried that weight in his ribs like a stone. Not again. He kicked off and sprinted to the irrigation trench that cut through the village edge. Mud pulled at his boots. The trench stank of fuel and algae. He dropped in, chest deep in cold muck, then pushed along the bend. Bullets slapped the bank above him. The sound was a flat hammer. He reached a culvert and popped up fast. The left ridge stared back at him in a dark sawtooth line. There. Headlights crawled over the crest. A truck. A heavy gun swiveled on the bed. Figures moved around it like quick shadows. He steadied his breath. He found the gunner in the glass. He squeezed. The shot broke clean. The gunner folded. The truck swerved and sank into a dip. Men cursed in a language he knew by sound, not by words. Hit, Evans said. His voice came out calm. It surprised him. Copy, Lena said. We need the package. The drone core is still with you, right? Evan looked down at his pack. The sealed case was strapped inside. A black box the size of a lunch pail. If the enemy got it, they could track friendly flights across half the theater. If Evan kept it, they might all die here. Still with me, he said. Good, Lena said. Commander Kadir is in play. He is pulling units to you. He wants that core. Evan felt the name like a cold hand on his neck. Kadir had a reputation. No mercy. No bargains. He took hostages and made them choose. Duty or love. Mission or blood. He filmed it all. Another mortar whistled in. Evan ducked and the trench shook. Mud washed into his sleeves. He pushed forward and reached a break in the bank. The village lay ahead, a tangle of collapsed roofs, a prayer flag torn in two, a door banging in the wind. Somewhere inside, a family hid in the dark. He knew it, because every village like this had a family that stayed. Now the fight had landed on their floor. Lena, I am crossing, Evan said. Negative. Kadir has snipers in the minaret. Thermal scope. Do not silhouette. Evan checked the skyline. The minaret rose thin and pale over the square. He could guess the angle. He could also guess the time. He did not have it. We pin them at the well, he said. Push through the alley. Then cut left. Copy. I am moving to you, Lena said. 2 minutes. He heard her boots before he saw her. She slid into the trench and breathed hard. Dust turned her face gray. She looked at the case, then at him. Her eyes were steady. You good? She asked. Good enough, he said. They pushed together to the next break. Evan popped smoke into the square. The can hissed and bloomed white. They ran. Bullets stitched the air behind them. A round hit the wall by Lena's head and chipped stone into her cheek. She flinched, then kept going. They reached the well and dropped behind the low ring. The smoke thinned in strips. The minaret window flashed once. Evan rolled right and fired 2 shots. The flash died. A child cried inside a nearby house. Evan froze for half a breath. The sound cut through the noise. A small voice. Afraid. He felt the old stone in his chest shift. He saw a pilot's hands again. White skin. Red foam. He moved. Stay on the well, he told Lena. I will clear the house. Evan, the mission, she said. Her voice trembled for the first time. If you go in, you expose the core. I know, he said. Cover me. He kicked the door open and swept the first room. Warm air. Bread on a low table. A man and a woman crouched behind a stove with a little boy in between. Evan raised his free hand. "Stay down," he said. "We are leaving. Now." Outside, the truck engine roared again. The enemy had righted it. The heavy gun began to speak. Lena fired short bursts and yelled for the family to move. They ran hunched and silent toward the trench. "Kadir will push the alley next," Lena said. "We need that shot." "What shot?" Evan asked. "The relay on the minaret," she said. "You cut it. They're jamming drops. We call birds. We live." Evan looked at the minaret. The relay was a fist-sized black dish bolted under the balcony. One good hit would crack it. One shot could change everything. He stepped into the open and shouldered the rifle. The smoke peeled away. The wind touched his cheek. The world narrowed. His ears rang again. He found the relay in the crosshairs. A low voice rolled through a loudspeaker from the far alley. Cold and calm. "Cole, I know you. I know your mistake in the mountains. Drop the case. Walk away." Evan's finger tightened on the trigger. The minaret window flared. A sniper muzzle. The relay sat inches from the flash. He fired. Thought for nines. The relay shattered in a spray of black shards. The sniper's muzzle flash blinked out. The night changed shape. The static in Evan's headset died. A clean tone cut through the ringing in his ears. "Valkyrie on station," a calm female voice said. "Say position and friend coordinates." Lena exhaled like she had been underwater. "Copy, Valkyrie. Marking with IR. Square is hot. Hostiles in the northern alley and on the left ridge. We have civilians." Evan ducked behind the well as tracers licked the rim and sparked off stone. The heavy gun raked the smoke. The family huddled in the trench, eyes wide, the boy pressing his hands to his ears. The mother whispered a prayer. Evan felt the weight of the case in his pack, like a second spine. "Cole," Lena said, "you made the shot." He nodded once. He scanned the minaret and alley. The enemy had stalled for a breath. They would push soon. Kadir would drive them like nails. The loudspeaker cracked again. The same cold voice. "You think air will save you. You brought the sky into my village. Shame. Drop the case. Walk away." Evan swallowed dust. He looked at Lena. She looked back, jaw tight. "He knows your name," she said. "He did homework," Evan said. "We move before he finishes it." They sprinted to the next wall as the heavy gun coughed again. Valkyrie spoke in his ear, calm and clean. "I see your IR. Cannot fire on the square with civilians exposed. Break contact west to the orchard. I can bracket the ridge and alley once you clear the zone." "Working it," Lena said. They hit a low doorway and spilled into a courtyard. Clay jars lay smashed across the ground. A goat bleated in a corner, trembling. The moon threw a pale wash over the dust. Evan checked the boy's face. Tear tracks cut clean lines through the dirt. He passed the child his canteen. The boy sipped and blinked hard, then handed it back with both hands. "Thank you," the boy whispered. Evan felt the old stones shift again. Mountains. A pilot's blood. 3 breaths of failure. He pushed the memory down and sealed it. Focus. Survive. "Orchard is 2 alleys west," Lena said. "We take the narrow path behind the bakery. Less exposed." "Do it," Evan said. They moved. Short darts. Knees bent. Heads low. Bullets snapped and chipped walls. The heavy gun paused, then resumed. Valkyrie's voice counted distances like a metronome. "You are 60 meters from clear. 50. Contacts on left roof. 2. Armed." Evan turned, rose, and fired. One figure folded. The other dropped prone and crawled back. He felt the recoil fill his bones. He breathed out through his teeth. Sand stuck to his lips. 40 meters, Valkyrie said. "Left ridge, vehicle repositioning. I can take that shot if you clear 20. "Almost there," Lena said. The loudspeaker boomed across the roofs. "Cole, you carry a key. Do you know what it unlocks? Your birds do. Your command does." "They did not tell you." Evan frowned. His shoulder blades tingled. He glanced at Lena. She shook her head. He is playing you. I know, Evan said. He did not know. They rounded a corner and hit the orchard. Rows of low trees, dusty leaves, a broken fence, a path that led to the dry wadi beyond. Clear space stretched open like a promise. Clear to fire on the ridge, Lena said. Firing, Valkyrie said. Light tore the night. The ridge vomited dust and flame. The heavy gun fell silent. Men ran in broken lines. The truck burned. A second strike hit the alley mouth. The loudspeaker cut out mid-sentence. For a breath, the village was only wind and the low cry of the goat. Move, Evan said. We cross the wadi and break south. They jogged down the path. The boy clung to his mother's hand. The father limped. Evan shouldered the pack higher and scanned the edges. The minaret leaned in the corner of his vision like a thin finger. Valkyrie, Lena said. Any sign of Kadir's command element? Negative, Valkyrie said. But I have a ping. Unusual RF near your position. It is tethered to your friend code. Stand by. Evan's stomach went cold. Say again. Your pack is broadcasting, Valkyrie said. Not your radio. The signal looks like a handshake. Someone is talking to your core. Lena, stop dead. They seated it. The boy bumped into Lena's leg and looked up. Evan felt heat crawl up his throat. He imagined a thin black switch buried in the case, or a worm that woke when the jamming fell. He saw Kadir's mouth shaping a smile in the dark. The loudspeaker returned, closer now. Good. You hear it too. Bring me the case, Cole. Or I turn your sky into your grave. Valkyrie cut in, voice still calm, but tighter. If I keep transmitting, I risk my stack. If I cut, you lose eyes. Decide fast. Evan looked at Lena. She had already pulled her knife. She sliced the straps and dragged the case free. We ditch it, she said. Now. And if it blows, Evan said. She set the case on the ground and breathed. Then it blows here, not near the family. The father shook his head. No, please. Not here. My son. Evan met Lena's eyes. Duty. Morality. Both weighed the same. He took the case and ran into the open strip between orchard and wadi. His boots slipped in loose sand. He put the case down and stepped back. He raised his rifle and aimed at the latch. Valkyrie, he said. If I shoot this, what happens? Unknown, she said. It could silence it. It could trigger it. The loudspeaker laughed, soft and sour. Shoot it, Cole. Be a hero twice. Lena jogged up beside him. She touched his elbow. We can carry it to the wadi and drop it deep. Sand will dampen the signal. Or bury it alive, Evan said. And it still talks. Valkyrie breathed in his ear. RF spike growing. You have 30 seconds to make it quiet, or I cut link, and you go dark. Evan gripped the rifle. The clock inside him ticked. He saw the boy's eyes. He saw a cockpit smeared red. He saw Kadir's shadow moving through smoke. He aimed at the latch and pressed the trigger. The case clicked. It opened by itself. The latch clicked and the lid sprung open like a trap. A hiss of air came out. A faint blue glow rose from the box. Evan froze. Lena cursed under her breath. The family flinched and pressed against the orchard wall. Inside the case sat a small device. No bigger than a deck of cards. A black plate with a window. A tiny speaker. A ring of LEDs pulsed slow, then faster. The device began to hum. It did not look like a bomb. It looked like a heart. Valkyrie cut in, voice tight. It is broadcasting. Live feed. Multiple endpoints. One links to a command node. Someone is watching you. The device clicked once. A face filled the window. Kadir's face. Clothes, pale, and smiling without humor. He wore the same scarf that had waved in the loudspeaker. The image was grainy. It was also recorded. It was alive with menace. Cole, Kadir said. He spoke in a language Evan did not fully know. Lena translated out of habit, more to herself than to anyone. You carry what they call a sky whisper. You think you own it. You think you hide it. You do not. Give it to me. Or watch the sky fall. The recording cut to static. Then a map appeared in the device window. A thin red dot blinked on the map. It matched the village grid. The dot pulsed and a ring spread. The device chirped like a warning. Evan felt the old stone come up through his throat. His hands shook. He imagined the pilot again. He imagined the 3 breaths he had wasted. The weight of things he could not undo crowded against his ribs. He had held this black box all night like a guilty coin. Lena grabbed his sleeve. Her knuckles were white. "We have to move it," she said. "Now." Evan lifted the device. It was warm. The LEDs flared. He looked into the tiny screen. For a blink he saw the pilot's face, as if the device had a memory of failure. Then Valkyrie's voice broke through, sharper. "Cole, you must dump it. I am tracking the feed. I can jam local endpoints, but Kadir has satellites. Cut the link by moving it out of the valley. Bury it under packed stone. You do not know his code. Do not touch the latch again." Lena nodded. She ran. Evan followed. The family moved like shadows behind them. The orchard gave way to a slope. The wadi lay dark below, a ribbon of salt flats and cracked clay. It would muffle a signal if buried deep. It would also leave them exposed. They set the device down on a flat stone. Lena worked the straps and lifted it with a smoke-streaked hand. The LEDs beat faster. The device began to sputter audio. A voice, older and thin, seeped out. It was not Kadir. It was someone else. A woman. The voice spoke in clear English. It said a name. Evan's name. "Evan Cole," the woman said. Her voice was a whisper. It held a small tremor. "You do not know me. You will not forgive me. I am sorry for the rest." The sound punched through him. He felt a memory tear open. He saw a hospital bay. A pilot, face pale, lips jammed with words he could not hear. He saw himself groping for a radio that would not work. He remembered the metallic smell. He remembered the weight of not acting. The device flashed images. Not maps. Not grids. Faces. Dozens of faces. Families. A child with a missing front tooth. A woman in a hospital gown. A man with a scar across his jaw. The images were stitched to locations. The device was more than a tracker. It was a ledger. "This is why we take the sky," Kadir's voice returned. "Because they fly and they watch. They bring bombs and they bring homes. You think you protect lives. You move them. You name them targets." Lena slammed her fist on the stone. "He is trying to shred us with guilt," she said. Her voice broke. "Ignore it. We have a job." Evan wanted to rip the device apart. He wanted to throw it into the ditch and stomp it to dust. He wanted to bury every picture and never see a face again. Instead, he saw the boy's eyes. The way the child had pressed his hands to his ears. The way his mother mouthed a prayer. He thought of the pilot. He thought of the 3 breaths he had failed to fill. "Valkyrie," he said, "can you pull the feed?" "I can trace it," she said. "But the uplink is hopping. Multiple relays. It bounces through civilian satellites. Kadir masks it. I can cut the ground nodes. That will blind him for seconds, maybe a minute. Then he will move the stream." A second truck engine growled on the ridge. Not far now. Men shouted. The loudspeaker barked orders. The village became a wire of noise. Dust rose where boots hit sand. Valkyrie's voice in his ear turned to an edge. "You have 90 seconds. You can move it to the center of the wadi and bury it under that stone pile. If you do, I can blanket it for 9 seconds. That is your window." Evan lifted the device. The tiny screen showed his own hands holding it. It showed the dirt under his nails. It showed the boy. It showed Lena. It showed the pilot. It showed a single sentence flashing in a corner. The text read, "Return or I will take." He set his jaw. He braced his feet. He ran. The orchard blurred. Stones hammered his shins. Bullets stitched the air. A shout rose behind him. He reached the stone pile near the wadi. Men were already moving into place on the ridge. Valkyrie counted down. 9, 8, 7. Evan dropped to his knees. He shoved the device under the stones. The LEDs flared bright white. The screen showed a live view of his face, close and sweating. And then a new face stepped into the frame. It was a man in plain clothes. He looked like any man. He looked like a neighbor. He looked like the father in the trench. His lips moved. He did not speak. Valkyrie's voice snapped. Cutting link. 3, 2, 1. The world went dark in the device window. The LEDs stilled. A brittle silence settled over the orchard. Then a voice cried out from the ridge. Far too close. Do not move. She is here. Evan froze. The voice had come from the ridge, sharp, alive, not through a speaker. Shadows shifted. Gunmetal glinted in the moonlight. And then she stepped forward. A woman in desert camo. Rifle raised, boots sure. Her face uncovered, scar running from temple to chin. Eyes hard and calm. She wasn't one of Kadir's men. She moved different. She moved like one of them. Like a soldier trained in the same schools, forged by the same fires. Lena muttered low. That's impossible. The woman stopped at the ridge edge, rifle steady. Her voice carried. Cole, hand me the device. Now. Evan's chest tightened. Who are you? She tilted her head. A thin smile touched her mouth. Your ghost. The one you left bleeding in the mountains. Evan's stomach dropped. He saw her eyes in memory. He heard a voice in a cockpit, breaking up, asking for help he had not given fast enough. He thought she was dead. He thought she was gone. And here she stood alive. Or something close enough. Lena swore again. She shouldn't be here. She shouldn't exist. The woman lifted the rifle higher. The moonlight brushed the scope glass. Her voice was steady as iron. Give me the core, or I paint the sand with all of you. The family shrank back into the orchard. The boy pressed his face into his mother's arm. Lena raised her rifle halfway, then stopped, eyes flicking to Evan. Her question was clear, without words. Friend or enemy? Real or shadow? Alive or ghost? Valkyrie whispered in Evan's ear. RF spike back online. The device is syncing again. Whoever she is, she's linked to Kadir's net. If she takes it, you lose everything. The scarred woman's smile deepened. One shot, Cole. That's all it takes. Make it count. Evan's rifle trembled in his hands. The desert held its breath. Duty pressed down. Morality pressed back. And in his sights at the face of a ghost, he had already failed once. Evan's finger hovered on the trigger. The scarred woman stood still on the ridge, framed by firelight from the burning truck behind her. The desert hummed with silence, broken only by the faint whimper of the boy. Lena whispered through clenched teeth. She's playing you. She's tied to Kadir. You shoot her, we move. You hesitate, we die. But Evan couldn't blink. That face. That scar. That memory of a cockpit flooding with smoke, and his voice too late on the radio. The woman raised her rifle. Last chance, Cole. Hand it over. Valkyrie's voice crackled fast and sharp. Decision point. 10 seconds. Device spike critical. It may lock us out for good. Evan exhaled slow. He forced his hand steady. He aimed, not at her chest, but at the stone ledge under her boots. He squeezed. The ridge shattered. Rock splintered. The scarred woman stumbled, dropping her rifle. She slid down the slope, tumbling hard. Her weapon clattered into the sand. Lena surged forward, covering her. Get the case. Lena shouted. But Evan froze. The woman was sprawled in the dust, coughing, her hand smeared with blood. She looked up at him. No fear. Just the weight of a question. You left me once, she rasped. Will you leave me again? The device on the stone pile screamed. Lights flared red. Valkyrie shouted. It's live. Core is opening a kill switch. If it finishes, every drone in the sector is blind. You have one option. Destroy it now. Lena turned, rifle locked on the box. I'll take the shot. Evan caught her arm. Wait. The boy stared at him, eyes wide, clutching his mother. The scarred woman coughed again, still watching. Kadir's voice cut through the air one last time from a far speaker, cold and cruel. Choose, Cole. Save your ghost, save the family, or save your war. You cannot have all three. Evan's chest burned. He saw the pilot again. He saw the stone he carried. He saw the faces on the device screen. He saw Lena waiting, finger tight on the trigger. He made his choice. Evan raised his rifle. He fired. The device erupted in white fire, shards of metal spraying the sand. The hum cut out. The lights died. The ridge fell silent. Valkyrie's voice came back, calm, almost relieved. Signal terminated. Kadir is blind. Lena lowered her rifle, eyes wet with smoke and something else. The family clung to each other in the orchard shadows. The boy's small voice whispered, "Safe." Evan nodded once. "Safe. For now." He turned to the scarred woman. She was gone. The sand held only her blood trail leading back into the dark. Lena stepped beside him. She was real. Evan shook his head. Or just another ghost. The desert wind carried the smell of smoke and the weight of silence. For the first time that night, Evan felt the stone in his chest ease. Not gone. Never gone. But lighter. Valkyrie spoke in his ear one last time. Extraction inbound. 15 minutes. Stay sharp. This is not the end. Evan looked at the horizon, rifle heavy in his hands. The war was not done. Kadir was not done. The ghosts would come again. But tonight, one shot had changed everything.